Hridayo Kamala Madhye Rajitang Nirvikalpam Sadasadakhila Vedatitam Ekaswarupam Prakriti Vikriti Shunnam Nityam Anandamurting Bimala Paramahangsang Ramakrishnan Bhajamaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We worship the stainless Paramahansa Sri Ramakrishna, shining in the lotus of our hearts, the changeless, absolute, beyond all distinctions of being and non-being, the one existence devoid of the modifications of nature, eternal, stainless, and the embodiment of bliss. We worship him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Now, we are on the new chapter. The last time we were reading Friday, April 9, 1886. That was the reading. And it is Sri Ramakrishna and Buddha. Is talking about Buddha. And Vivekananda, Naren, he went to Bodh Gaya, where Buddha attained illumination. And he was describing, and Ramakrishna was also putting some questions. And that is the way we read. Now, this is, the entry is on next day, Monday, April 12, 1886. And it's a very, description goes like that. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on his bed in his room in the Kashipur garden house. Shashi, Ramakrishna Nanda, and M were with him. He asked M by a sign to fan him. There is a fair in the neighborhood in celebration of the last day of the Bengali year. And a devotee whom Sri Ramakrishna had sent to the fair to buy a few articles returned. The master asked him, "What have you brought?" And the devotee says, "Some candy for 5 paisa, a spoon for 2 paisa, and a vegetable knife for 2 paisa. What about the pen knife?" Ramakrishna asked. Devotee says, "I could not get one for 2 paisa. Paisa, you know? Paisa. 64 paisa is 1 rupee. So this, then the currency of that time. Anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna is asking eagerly, "Oh, you cannot get it? Go and get one. Quickly go and get one knife." Anyhow, M was pacing in the garden house of the Kashipur garden house. Narendra and Tarak returned from Calcutta. They had visited Girish Ghosh's house. Narendra, Tarak says, "We have eaten a great deal of meat and other heavy stuff today." Tarak is who? Shivananda, we are reading every day. Tarak. So Tarak, "We have eaten a great deal and other heavy stuff today." Narendra, "Yes, our minds have come down a great deal." Let us practice tapasya to him. What slavery to body and mind. You are just like coolies. Coolies means the servant, what do you call the slaves. We are like coolies. to the body bound, coolie of the body, as if this body and mind were not ours, but it belonged to someone else. So you see, here is a beautiful thing. Sri Ramakrishna is sitting there, silent, and the devotee came back from purchasing something. That's okay. And then afterwards, Tarak and Naren, though went to Girish Ghosh's house, and he invited them for a lunch or something. So they eat very sumptuous food. And he's saying, we have eaten a great deal heavy stuff today. And as a result, Naren says, yes, but our mind goes down. When we think of food, mind goes to the food. So he says, let us do now counteract. How to counteract? You counteract with this, what you call that, do japa. Let us do tapasya, austerity. And in the evening, the lamps were lighted in the house. Sri Ramakrishna sat on his bed, facing the north side. He was absorbed in contemplation of the Divine Mother of the universe. And a few minutes later, Fakir, who belonged to the priestly family of Balaram Bose's house, recited the hymn of forgiveness addressed to Divine Mother. M was fanning Sri Ramakrishna. The master said to him by sign, get a stone cup for me that will hold a quarter of seer of milk, white stone. He drew the shape of the cup with his finger. Meaning, it's a very, the scene is very disheartening to see Sri Ramakrishna so weak. He cannot say anything in the mouth, no? By sign he's showing, bring a cup like that, a stone cup for drinking milk like that. That part is the thing. And Naren, their spirit, that we can understand. And how spirit is to go beyond always. And Naren is always inspiring. Now, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, again another day, but 30 next morning. This is the last part. M had spent the night at the garden house. After taking his bath in the Ganges, he prostrated himself before Sri Ramakrishna. Ram had just come. He saluted the master and took a seat. He had brought a garland of flowers which he offered to the master. Most of the devotees were downstairs. Only one or two were in the master's room. Ramakrishna was talking to Ram. Master, how do you find me? Ram said, in you one finds everything. Ram continues, presently there will be a discussion about your illness. The master smiled and asked Ram by a sign, will there really be a discussion about my illness? Sri Ramakrishna's slippers were not comfortable. Dr. Rajendra Datta intended to buy a new pair and had asked for the measurements of his feet. Sri Ramakrishna asked him by a sign about the stone cup. M once stood up. He wanted to go to Calcutta for that cup. Master says, don't bother about it now. M said, sir, these devotees are going to Calcutta, I will go with them. Anyhow, M then went to Calcutta and bought the cup and returned to Kasipur. Then Dr. Srinath came to see Sri Ramakrishna, looking at his illness. Dr. Srinath is talking to his friends. Everything is under the control of Prakriti. Nobody can escape the fruit of past action. This is called prarabdha. Master, why, if one chants the name of God, meditates on Him, and takes refuge in Him? Dr. Srinath, but sir, how can one escape prarabdha, the effect of actions performed in the previous births? Master said, no doubt a man experiences a little of the effect, but much of it is cancelled by the power of God's name. A man was born blind of an eye. This was his punishment for certain misdeeds he had committed in his past birth. And the punishment was to remain with him for 6 more births. He, however, took a bath in the holy Ganga, which gave him liberation. This meritorious action could not cure his blindness, but it saved him from his future births. Dr. Srinath. But sir, the scriptures say that nobody can escape the fruits of karma. Dr. Srinath was ready to argue with Master. Master said to him, why don't you tell him that there is a great difference between the Ishwarakoti and the ordinary man? An Ishwarakoti cannot commit any sin. Why don't you tell him that? M remained silent and then said to Rakhal, you tell him. So, the discussion is very interesting, no? The doctor has come to see Sri Ramakrishna, and seeing Sri Ramakrishna, doctor commented, you know, even Sri Ramakrishna, no? Such a holy man, everything is under Prakriti. We call this whole universe is the play of Purusha and Prakriti, according to Sankhya philosophy. So, everything is under Prakriti. That means you are born because of your karma. And in this life, that karma, you have to wipe out that karma, what you planned to fulfill. So, that you cannot do anything. That's the Vedanta philosophy says. You cannot change your prarabdha. That is the traditional philosophical opinion. Why you cannot change? Just the example they gave, suppose you have so many bullets in your pocket, but you have only one bullet you triggered. If you have triggered the bullet, then the bullet is going like this. In a particular direction, you set a direction and trigger it. When it is in the middle of the journey, you cannot change anything. The bullet will have to run. That's called the prarabdha, which is been started already. Before shooting, you can decide, I will target this side or target this side or this side. No? But when once it is out of your hand, bullet is running, then you have any control? No. That is normally, that is the idea. But this doctor is making a mistake, that it is not same with Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna is suffering of cancer. That's why doctor saying is that, oh, see the prarabdha. This is the result. And you have no escape. You will have to bear with this suffering and pain, whatever comes. But here, a discussion came this way. Yes, for individual soul like us, we jivas, we are bound by our karmas. Whatever you planned last life before your death, I will be like this. That is this life. It's very, very simple but complicated. Suppose I give the example. You wanted to plan that, oh, I want to go to New York. Just a thought. It is not so easy. If you just wanted to go to New York, there are so many ifs and buts, so many obstacles, good and bad, it may come. So suppose you plan, I will go, and you start. Then what will you do? You will start, go to the airport, and then in this journey, you may be delayed. You may be in the traffic. In normal condition I am talking. Then you go to the airport, and then there is a big queue line. There is a TSA. You got caught there. Or unnecessarily something, a peek, and then they detain you to check further. By that time plane is running, no? Then you anyhow run. They say, sorry, next flight. So you didn't plan this way. You planned that you will go. But in your journey, these things happen. You cannot avoid that if that is the situation. Who has designed it? It's called the Prakriti, Maya, or the play of the Maya. So that is for us. But when God comes down, Ishvara or Ishvara Kotis of that same level, they are already freed. We are not freed people. We are all bound by our karmas. And they are already freed. They have crossed all this journey and they are liberated. But they are liberated still. Why they take a body? To do good to the world. They suffer because they take care of the suffering of other people. So they don't suffer actually. That's the point. We don't understand this. They don't suffer because their mind is not in the body. We suffer because our mind is in the body. Bodily aches and pains is my pain, my aches, my pain. If I am not connected with the body, then what do? Headache and this and that, take some Tylenol or something. Huh? What happens? Then you don't feel anything. Does it mean that the body is not undergoing those difficulties? Only you are not feeling. So similarly, Gyanis or Mahagyanis or the particularly incarnations, they do not suffer. They appear to be suffering like us. As we say, his voice is choked, he cannot speak, he is putting with the finger. It is all because they have no body identity. They will suffer more if they have a body identity. So this is the discussion we went through. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, why if one chants the name of God and meditates upon Him and takes refuge in Him, then your prarabdha karma will not affect you. Huh? Do you agree? Huh? You do japa, no? You get absorbed in that name and chanting, no? So if your body's aches and pains, you will not feel that. People do by medicine, and you do by japa, meditation, prayer. If someone really take refuge in God's, take a shelter at the feet of the Lord, mind gets so much absorbed in that God consciousness, then your body consciousness drops. All these are things because mind is connected. So the mind you can put it here, like Swami Turiyanandaji's explanation. Turiyanandaji's carbuncle and the doctors operating. It's really, how could you believe, without anesthesia, how can you do that? Any little pin pricks in our finger will be jumping out of it. No. And how he could do that? Because his mind is not there. Main thing is mind is not there. And when the mind was really in the body, next time, you see how same Turiyananda Swami reacted with just little touch of the knife in the body. Because they are trying to cut the stitch or something like that. So you see, philosophy is that how we can take the mind from this mundane, objective thing to God which is pure and stainless. So if one can do, Ramakrishna says, by taking the name of God, practicing japa and surrendering to God, why not people will feel prarabdha? They don't feel. Prarabdha will be there, but they will not feel. Holy Mother said, no? If one takes the name of God, by God's grace, prarabdha, where there would have been a serious injury, one will feel a pinprick. How is that? Serious pain you will not feel. She said that if a plow for tilting the field enters into someone's body, that type of painful thing, he will feel only a pinprick. Holy Mother said. What? What is the reason? It's God's grace. Mother said it's God's grace, you will feel like that. But come to the scientific side of it, analytical, psychological side of it. When my mind is totally in the body and someone does some, uh, put some surgery or something, I cannot withstand. But when mind is put somewhere else by medicine or by medication or by meditation, by yogic practice, whatever may be the means, if one can take the mind in something else, then the body, you don't feel anything of the body. So that's the mother's word. That prarabdha, you will not feel. Though there may be a severe reaction, severe uh, uh, physical condition goes through one, but one's mind is absorbed in God. That's why you will find that those who are prayerful, you see the devotees. Recently we talked about that Govinda, our devotee. Even he is almost passing away. And when someone is chanting the name of the Lord, Ramakrishna, he said that they are seeing physically the spike in the heart rate. That means elated, no? That means he is forgetting the body. Body is going to leave the body, no? But mind is pushed into that higher, and his face is smiling. So this is happening, that because of the mind. Yeah, yes.
So the question is, so this plow will be there, but it will, like it is not that your faith is changing. So God's name cannot change the faith. But
No, God does not need.
God will not feel it.
Yeah, that's the point. God does not want to interfere with anyone's karma, as you say. Holy Mother said, the God does not want to interfere with the karma. But what you can do, what God does, if we get absorbed in Him by His grace, mind gets totally collected in His thought. The mind is not here in the body. So the bodily pain, bodily suffering, bodily this, he does not feel. Many devotees you will find in the we get the stories how they die. Last moment, or the mind gets concentrated. No, one of our Swami, yes, almost Akunthananda Swami, he was passing away. So he was a great Swami, that's of course, but he was suffering last days. He just told our Harinamananda knows that he was there during that time in Calcutta when that Swami was passing away. He went from here to stay in India to experience Indian spiritual tradition. So he was with him. He said that he was almost going into unconsciousness, and suddenly he woke up and he asked a photograph of Sri Ramakrishna to bring it. He will make me sit. Like that he sat, and he embraced the Thakur's photo and just left the body. So these are the what type of living a life. Prarabdha, death is death. Previously, physical, when you go of the body, there is certain aches and pains, no? But all evaporated, and then face become joyful. That's why our Swami, President Maharaj, Swami Bireshwarananda Maharaj, anyone leaves the body in Belur Math, I was surprised. What? I didn't understand that. I was a young novice. So I saw that everybody who passes away, that body, they bring it to President Maharaj before goes to cremation. And he was an old Swami, Raja Maharaj's mother's disciple, Raja Maharaj's sannyas, president of our order. So someone will have to bring a big, powerful flashlight, and will have to put in the face and see. What he saw, I didn't understand that time. What he sees. How peaceful is the mind. When your mind is attached to God, at the point of death you have practiced whole life. That's the use of practice. Spiritual practice is not that how I will be a great yogi. Spiritual practice is that when all these things will fail, mind should run because of the practice, everyday trying. So the mind will run towards God. And when it goes to God, see, the total relaxation of the whole physical personality happens, and their face started beaming with joy. You will find that many holy people, their faces are full of joy at the point of death, because their mind goes into it. Prarabdha took it, whatever suffering of the body, whatever disease, someone is kidney, someone is pancreas, someone is heart, someone is, all those are okay. But when the body identity goes away, his mind goes away because of the long practice. That's why it is said at the point of death, if you are a good friend, don't talk mundane things. Chant the name of the Lord in his ear, so that his mind will catch that, and it will tune to that God consciousness.
I have seen some people die there, they can see at the end of their, when they're living, their father or mother who passed away long back, they could see like that they have come back, and for that reason, the face became joyful that she
That is there in that standard. That's why someone thinks Pitri Loka, some Devaloka. Huh? Divine plane is Devaloka. Pitri Loka, forefathers. Ordinary, those people who are having family bound, they love their mom, dad, brother, sister, and some of them have passed away. So when their mind thinking, because they love their mom, love their dad, no, and they are no more, so their mind is trained to think of them. So when the body goes away, and their mind gets tuned to that level, it's a different level, strata. No? So then they find joy. They have met their, it is believed in Hindu faith that yes, after death, you can be with your mom, dad, brother, sister, etc., those who are departed, or grandma, grandpa, whom has gone. It's called the Pitri Loka, the plane of the fathers and forefathers. No? So there is a plane. And why you meet? They have died long back, and you maybe after 10 years someone is passing. How they will see them? Well, yes, they can stay, because this time is relative. Our 1 year, a person who dies, it's for 1 day for them. Understand? Suppose someone died in 2019 and 2020, 1 year passed for our account, not 365 days passed. But for him, one day, as if 24 hours. So if someone dies after 10 years even, 20 years even, 20 days, you remain in that subtle body for 20 days is nothing. So that's why they see fathers, forefathers. Some see Devaloka, they see gods and goddesses. Some see their Ishta Devata, they think of their Ishta again and again. Some think, I am Brahman, I am Atman, light. Depending on how was your practice and how your mind was tuned to that awareness. No? Some day and night thinking of ghost, 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 they will see ghost. Ramakrishna said, come, Ramakrishna said to Jogin and Niranjan, whom he said, he was good in planchets and other things, no? Departed body to come and give answers. What is called? Planchet. So that this is for the departed, but they are not liberated. They are having subtle body. They live in the painful body. They are ghost body, they call. Say they have died out of accident or some suicidal things like that. So they see that. Thinking of them, Ramakrishna said, if you think of them, you will be like that. Don't think of ghost, think of God. That's why Ramakrishna said. So what you think, that is the plane you will go after this body goes. So all the planes are everywhere, no? Different strata of levels, layers. So, main thing is that if we go to the higher plane, mind becomes more joyful, more peaceful and tranquil. So you can go to the father's plane, you can go to the ghosts and goblins plane, you can go to the gods and goddesses plane. Ma Durga, we believe there is a plane of Mother Durga. Ma Devi Loka. They call Devi Loka.
Rashmani went there.
Ramakrishna saw that. When Rani Rasmani is who?
Who built the whole
Founder of the Dakshineshwar temple. No? She was such devoted to Divine Mother. And when she passed away, Ramakrishna saw. Suddenly, he described that. It's in you read the Great Master or the Divine Play, you will find that. She saw that a divine chariot has come. And from the Devi Loka, from the Divine Mother, and the subtle body of Rani, the Rasmani, left the physical body. Leaving that, she entered into the chariot and sat there. And the chariot went to the Devi Loka. And Ramakrishna saw that. That means it happens. Ordinary people, we do not know. Our scriptures say it happens. But we may doubt, because I don't see. That's okay. But it happens. That's why our practice is so important. As much as we practice, in which way you practice, your next journey is there. And if we can do that, even at the point of death, because of repeated practice, it becomes a habit, unconscious habit. And unconscious habit then becomes your nature. And that's why you call repeat mantra all the time, or japa. All these suggestions are given. So Sri Ramakrishna talked about with the doctor that yes, what you say is good, but everything is under the control of Prakriti. That's true. No one can escape the fruit of past action. If you have done something bad, this time you are born to suffer that. Okay, it will come. But it will come to the body and mind. But if your mind is tuned to God consciousness, the body undergoes that suffering, but you don't feel it. To feel, you need the mind. Now, you are eating food. How will you feel it is good or bad? Unless your mind is in the food. You are thinking something else and eating a good food. Will you be able to tell what did you eat? Most of the time, I don't know that. I didn't pay attention. We say simply we don't pay attention. That means your mind was somewhere else. So this is the important thing. And for incarnations, Ramakrishna said to Master, why don't you tell him that there is a great difference between the Ishvara Kotis and an ordinary man? No, ordinary man, they are body-bound person. So they cry and weep with the suffering of the body. Body suffers and the person also cries. But elevated person, they'll keep 50, suppose we have 100% mind, no? 100% mind is in my body. So any pain here happening, I feel 100%, is it not? Now think, if 20% of the mind is minus, how much pain you will feel? 80%. 80%. Suppose you can go practice by practice, 50% of the mind is up. Then same pain, body will go, but you will feel 50%. So this, as spiritual a person, he can keep the mind in higher thought. The percentage of the portion of the mind in the body, less. So even they suffer, they don't suffer.
When you are cooking, you get burned.
Yeah.
And your mind is busy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, you people can
That
feel when you
part
cook.
becomes
Your hand has touched in a pan and it's already burned, but you are very engaged and engrossed into something. After, hey, what here happened? Oh, I didn't know how it happened. See? That means this is happening every day. The mind is such a factor. Whether you can give it in the body, you will feel the full body pain, or less body pain if you can divert that. I give the common example of the small children when they fell down and really they are hurt and they are crying, bitterly crying. But mom or someone will come and to digress the attention of the child or baby and hey, see this, and making them, and the child looks at it and no cry. That means mind can be put into it. So whole spiritual philosophy is here. So M remained silent and then talked to the Rakhal and said Rakhal to tell him, the doctor, what master told him. After a few minutes, the physician left the room. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Rakhal Haldar. Haldar. Dr. Srinath studied Vedanta. He is a student of the Yoga Vasishtha. We read Yoga Vasishtha. Yesterday we read. So he said this doctor, Indian doctors are good. Whatever they say, they know philosophy. India, that's the beauty of India, that they know so much philosophy. Whatever profession they go for, they bring into this fundamental philosophy. I remember of one when I joined in our teachers training college, there was a gardener. And the gardener was from a poor background from Orissa. Bhubaneswar, we are reading Bhubaneswar and that's the Orissa area, another state, neighboring state. And that man was coming from a poor family. So, but he's a good gardener and he's appointed in our school to do the gardening. So one day I used to chit chat with him sometime. So I said, hey, what made, I see that after doing your work you go and take a shower and you don't eat, you take another half an hour, 45 minutes. What do you do? They say, I do yoga. I mean, you do yoga? What yoga? He does not know how to sign his name. Such a person, and his age was at that time maybe 50 or 55, like that. I said, you do yoga? Hey, my guru has showed me. I said, what yoga? Then he said, and he started talking about that all the chakras and describing the chakra. Here are the 4 petals and this. Oh my God! We learned after reading this book, that book, and this guy, all the 7 petals and their positions and how the mind, the Kundalini awakens and goes through that. I meditate on that Kundalini. Kundalini yoga you are hearing here, and I learned from that guy who does not go to school, who have never read a page of any book, cannot sign his own name, but knows this Kundalini yoga by practice. And that is the culture of India. And whatever may be the other side, that's okay, but this is the inner side of it. So this doctor, he is not doctor profession, but he talks about prarabdha karma, and prarabdha you have to suffer. There is no escape of prarabdha. And that's why he knows from Yoga Vasishtha. What we are reading, Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. The Haldar said, Dr. Srinath studies Vedanta and he is a student of the Yoga Vasishtha. Master, a householder should not hold the view of everything is illusory like a dream. Those who are to live in the world, this high philosophy should not be practiced at the beginning stage. And maturity comes, they will do. But they are living every day, day-to-day life in living. You have to face the challenges of day-to-day life. If you say illusory, it will not solve the problem. No. But when you are matured, yes, your mind is ready. You understand, your maturity has come. Illusoriness you can understand. So Ramakrishna said, that's why. Even Gita says, no, that people, those who have body identity, body consciousness more, for them the path of knowledge is little difficult. It's not impossible, not impossible, but difficult. For them bhakti, devotion is easier. In the 12th chapter Gita also, evam satatayukta stam de vakta tvai upasate parjupasate. And Arjuna said that there is a devotee, there is a path of jnana. No? Out of these, who is better? Either bhakta or jnani. Then there Sri Krishna responded, yes, it is good, both will lead the same result. But those who are Dehovadvi, they have body identity more, and they talk about Vedanta. It is contradictory. Vedanta means I am not the body. So you are fit as less is your body consciousness. That path. Huh? I have 10% body consciousness, and I am only say I am not the body. That will not solve the problem. So by devotion, when the mind is clean and clean, then this word, yes, I am not the body, will resonate in your heart more tangibly. It will be tuned then. Master, referring to a man named Kalidas, a devotee said, he too discussed Vedanta, but he has lost all his money in lawsuits. See? When you are in a world, you have to face all these challenges. There will be, some people will be putting you into trouble, your neighbors, your friends, something will happen. So too much high Vedanta, there people cannot match these two levels. Therefore, it is good. But if he is a matured person, it's okay. In spiritually matured, but if not, only those who say, I am not the body, not the mind, and at the same time, full consciousness is there in the body. So, that is not a better path. Better path is pray to God, I am your servant, under this trouble, please help me. No? And then you know God is the reality. So, everything is unreal. Gradually, mind will be clean, and then you will be able to catch. Yes, everything is Maya, everything is unreal. It's not this. This is all name and form. Then you will be able to hold it. It is not contradictory, don't mind it. People sometimes say it is higher or lower. Not higher or lower. Higher in the sense, your maturity of experience, knowledge will grow. Master smilingly said, yes, one proclaims everything to be Maya, and still one goes to the courthouse. Huh? If you say Maya, what is the position of your court, case, lawsuit? If everything is Maya, the lawsuit is also Maya. The person who is accusing he is also Maya. Your pain, that is also Maya. So it is all Maya. But mere saying Maya will not do, because it is not reflected in the life. That's why it is said, not bad, but other path is suitable for them. So Master continues, Mukherjee of Gyan, of Janai, one place, too talked big. Big means, I am Atman, I am Brahman, I am this, big talk. But at last he came to his senses, many understanding. If I were well, I should have talked a little more with Dr. Srinath. Can one obtain jnana just by talking about it? Ramakrishna is not contradicting, but he's just saying, I am a jnani, everything is illusory. That we have to think more, days and days. But practical thing is spirituality, prayer, japa, bhajan, singing. Start there and then move to that direction.
So then, at what point you think it's neither illusory nor real, but it is Thakur's thing?
What?
So say you have to go to court, jury duty,
Ah,
for example.
ah.
And then you cannot say it is illusory, and you don't take it seriously also. Then you say Thakur's word.
Thakur's work is different, then you are bringing different philosophy. It is illusory. It is illusory ultimate sense in samadhi state. People are forgetting that. When you will be really can say that is illusory. Unless you are tuned to the consciousness of the divine, all the world vanishes. Suppose when you go to deep sleep, is it not the world illusory? Where does it go? Tell me where the world goes.
Even in dream.
Huh?
Even in dream.
Even in dream, I understand something is still there, reality.
But this world is
This
gone.
world is gone.
Yeah.
But that world is still there. But now go to the deep sleep, this world gone, that world gone, you are gone, your dream gone, everything is gone. So, so this is the, when you go to samadhi only, then actually you are established in that state. But before that, so long we are in the body, yes, I am here. Better, that's why Ramakrishna said, so long you live here, you say it is God's world, I am your servant, O Lord, make me your child. No? Please help me, give me the right knowledge, with wisdom, I can love you. So this is the process. This is, how to reach that goal is the process. So he says that that only a big talk is not good. If I were well, Ramakrishna said, if I was well, I should have talked a little more with Dr. Srinath, giving the right perspective. If I were, can one obtain jnana? We are talking about jnana, nothing wrong. But can it be attained just by talking about it? That means you have to be pure in character, selfless, dedicated to the service of others. All the good things you have to understand, practice. Halda said, you are right, sir. I have seen enough of jnana. Now all I need in order to live in the world is a little bhakti. The other day I came to you with a problem on my mind and you solved it. Master, eagerly, what is it? Haldar said, sir, when that boy, pointing to the younger Naren, came in, you said he had controlled his passions. Master said, yes, it is true. He is totally unaffected by worldliness. He says he does not know what is lust is. To him, just feel my body. All the hair is standing on the end. Huh? Master, see that master will be so happy if someone is like this. Master told to this gentleman Haldar that this Naren, there are two Naren. One is Vivekananda, another is called younger Naren. Another Naren, but his age was also young. So Ramakrishna used to point out him as young Naren. But young Naren's glory is that he has, he said that this boy says that he has controlled his passion. And Master said, yes, it is true. This boy, Naren, is totally unaffected by worldliness. He says he does not know what lust is. As a child does not know what is lust, no? A baby does not know what is lust. This younger Naren is so pure that he says, I do not know what is called lust. And hearing that, Sri Ramakrishna says, look at my whole body. All the hairs are standing on joy. He's such a pure soul. He does not understand even what is called lust. What purity. So Ramakrishna loves that purity.
Can we ever get to those states?
Yeah, by God's grace. See, it can be. By God's grace and our effort. That's why sadhana is very important. And awareness all day. It is every day. What we are here, why am I here, what am I doing, am I leading to the goal, and that is the purpose I am here. I will fail 100 times, again try to reach, That practice is the only thing. And God's grace, as we are talking in the morning, is it an ordinary thing that we are here? We are not to think about anything else. If you really think, what you have to think of yourself? Everything is taken care of by God. No? My room, my stay, my food, my eating, my sleeping, everything is taken care. So what is our duty? Only to serve. And think of God. So if one can do that way, by His grace, and He says that He will move 10 steps if we only may move one step. So these are all assurance. And Gita also said to Arjuna, Pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees will never get perished. I will redeem them. Those who take refuge in me, I will take charge of him. And Ramakrishna said, Those who have come here, they will have to not to think of anything more. I'll take care. No? And even you see, we read Swami Shivananda Maharaj every day. How many times he says, it's a matter of joke that you are seeing us. Who are we? Is it easy to see such people? They come and now and then you can see in the marketplace. And we are fortunate, these devotees and sadhus who are here now, we are very close proximity of Ramakrishna. Just Ramakrishna passed away. His disciples were living. We are reading their stories. Their disciples, we saw them, we interacted with them. It's not too far away. Not 1,000 years. It has not become a storybook. Huh? You create some concocted stories. Huh? It is a living story. And all the even living examples we can find with our great sadhus. So it is all possibility by God's grace. So Master says, yes, it is true. He is totally unaffected by worldliness. He says he does not know what lust is. Just feel my body. All the hair is standing on end. The Master's hair actually stood on end at the thought of a pure mind, totally devoid of lust. He always said, God manifests himself where there is no lust. Rakhal, then Haldar, not our Rakhal, not Brahmananda, is another gentleman, Rakhal Haldar, another gentleman. That was the two Rakhal. Many same name, like say Mark name, so many Mark, so many Matthew, so many Jesus, Jesus. So similarly names. So the masters Rakhal Haldar then took leave. Sri Ramakrishna was seated with the devotees and so another 5 minutes are there. Is there any question? Acha, so let me end here. 5 minutes are there, so I will go for some question and then which one? This one?
No, this only one.
That's, please give us, householders, an easy formula to be able to see God after death, to reach God realization. For monks, it must be easy to reach that state as they are always focused on God. But, no. So, I think, yes, your expectation is good that if the monks, it must be easy, but not for easy, I think. Because everyone will have to fight with their sanskaras, with their past impressions, with their past tendencies, no? And everyone needs to practice. So, yes, you can say monks' advantage is that they live in a environment is much better than that of those you who are in the living in home and facing so much challenges. No. But we have our challenges also. But the main thing is that easy formula, Ramakrishna's easy formula, or Holy Mother's easy formula. Take the holy name. Repeat the holy name. Feel the presence of God. Think that you are a servant. Ramakrishna's example. You live in the house like a servant. Think that you are a servant. And just do all duties. You know, these worldly duties you have to do, but you are doing it only for pleasing God. So think the way Ramakrishna taught. There is no easy path. Easy path is easy if we can remember God in all our action. In our suffering, we can go to God. In our joy, we can go to God. If I get a suffering, oh Lord, see, this is the difficult time I am passing, please help me. No? So let us go to God. And when you are in happy, then also say, oh Lord, what a grace. So it is your grace that's why I am happy. I am getting so much joy today. No? Both in happiness or in suffering, we have to go to God. because he is our this everything in life, our source of happiness and misery and everything. It is only, it is he is taking us to reach this, take us to the life beyond. And sometimes our difficulties when we face, we think that is God is unkind. But a devotee can look at that, any difficulty comes, in a different way. Because when you are paying off your loan, then you are to be very austere, isn't it not? Those who are only using their credit card and purchasing new things, not ever thinking that you have to pay back sometime, they are very happy people. So in the world, those who are cheating, those who are just making something, they think that they are very rich people, they are very happy, ha ha ha. Huh? But they are all credit balance is increasing. And who is paying off the credit card bill, he needs to be miser. Oh, I cannot spend this, I have no money, I'll have to austere here, I'll have to austere here. So when devotees suffer, devotees think that I am paying off my karmas. So this is the, so I could have been much more punished, but God is gracious. He is lessening it to this degree. So these are the thoughts to be taken, and we have to improve our life by keeping the peace, tranquility inside, no? Contentment. Contentment, sukhe, dukkhe, samay kritva. We cannot be we should be equal in happiness and misery, but we cannot. But let us practice. Dukkher bese esecho bole, tomare nahi doribo he. There is a statement, Rabindranath says, "O Lord, I will not be afraid of you if you have come before me in the form, in the taking a form of suffering. In suffering form, you have approached me. I know it is you have come. যে কেহ মোরে দিয়েছ সুখ, দিয়েছ তারি পরিচয়, তোমারেই আমি নমি। যে কেহ মোরে দিয়েছ দুঃখ, দিয়েছ তারি পরিচয়, তোমারেই আমি নমি। Rabindranath Tagore, he is singing, "O Lord, I salute you. If anybody in the world have given a pinch of love and affection to me, anything I got, it is you have sent it for me. And anyone in the world who have given me little suffering, it is you have given me the suffering. For my benefit, I salute you." So this is the practice in our life, day-to-day life. We will have to start practicing this. Our days go, today is little good, tomorrow is little bad, tomorrow is happy, next day is unhappy. In this way, if we can go to God, everything coming from God, "Oh Lord, make me pure, make me a servant of yours, make me an instrument in thy hand." All these ideas of surrender, 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 that is the devotional path we can go. Or in Vedantic path also you can take if you do. That it is happening to the body. What that to me? I am not the body. According to your capacity, you follow. So it is no special path for householders or for monks. The path is to love God. And as we can love God, then things will happen more. Srikanta,
No, not there. Here, one more question. Shima. Did you say Shima?
ঠিক আছে। Jiva does not come back from samadhi and leave the body in 21 days. So who is saying the illusory word? Yes, Sima, you said that question, that Jiva does not come back from samadhi and leave the body in 21 days. Yes, Jiva if they attain samadhi and stay there, and does not come back from samadhi this evening, tomorrow morning, day after tomorrow morning, continue for 21 days, he does not come back. So he is merged into the samadhi. So there is no question of prarabdha, there is no question of coming back. So, therefore, who sees the illusory world, this question does not arise, because he is no more. He who will see the world illusory, it is for, again he comes back into the body. But he does not see the illusory world as I see. Because of the knowledge of the light, they see two things together. It is all play of the divine. They see God and the name and form. So that is the understanding. Jiva does not, even they come back after Samadhi, that is the normally. Say with Nisarga Datta. Who is he? He attained to Samadhi and came down. We are talking about so many great saints. Saints go into that higher level, come down. But they don't feel like us, they don't see like us.
But there are different types of samadhi also.
That's
We
okay.
know that the highest level of
I am talking about the highest level of, because 21 days if he cannot come back, that's not ordinary samadhi. If one goes to that nirvikalpa samadhi, that is only 21 days. And also when he comes back, he again enters into the body and mind. No. So body mind then functions. He can see the things around. So it does not change. So for him there is no illusory world. Illusory world is in our case, because we live in ignorance. I understand that you say, please let me place under
there is no more question.
Kripa Karuna. Dekhi if you have anything.
So tomorrow will be the
Okay, so tomorrow, so no more any question. Thank you all for sending these comments that you liked and this and that. Thank you. And tomorrow will be Swami Satyamayananda. He will be giving a class on Bhagavad Gita at 7:30 here. So please join. Thank you. And I end today's reading. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Vanamastu.